Righty guys, welcome back. So, this is the beginning, or I should say the second day of a very interesting week, but yesterday we didn't have a video because I have an excuse and it's actually a valid one. So yesterday I had delivery of the food trailer that I'm going to be running, and I had to put all the equipment in, and I was there from 6:30 in the morning until 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the sun went down because I had no light, so I couldn't work anymore. So the funny thing about having a trailer like that and commercial cookers and all that kind of stuff, they're heavy, and the trailer is weird. It's kind of like it's there isn't a lot of space for you to maneuver around. So just imagine me having to lift like 80, 90, 100 kilo of worth of equipment, just like lifting it, going sideways, and then tilting like this to put it down. It was a mess. As a result, my lower back, I swear to Jesus, my lower back is still not good enough to go. So yesterday was supposed to be back day, but obviously yesterday was back day, just not in the gym. So it's one of them. But I had the pains, man. Like yesterday, honestly, like on my lower back as I was leaving the trailer and I went to the car to drive, I could just feel that pinning sensation that you have on your lower back. And it didn't happen when I was lifting stuff, but it happened when I was screwing stuff and I was kind of like bending over them. So that wasn't fun. Also, on top of that, when I went back home, when I went to bed, my fingers started to bloat like a motherfucker. They were swelling, and I think that's because it was so cold all day. And obviously, I have no gloves because I'm a man. We don't buy gloves for that stuff, right? That men don't do that. So that was a mistake. So yeah, they were bloated, and I also tell you what, I cut myself there. So there, and then there's another one here, and another small one up there. Don't ask how. I'm not going to tell you, but I cut myself, and I swear to God, no blood dripped because it was so cold. I think the blood just froze. So that was fun. Yesterday was fun. So yesterday was back day, but we didn't do a back day in the gym, but we did a back day in the trailer. So today we're gonna do chest. However, I have to be careful because my back is still not healed properly. I can still feel the pains, but obviously it's a lot better now. It's not good enough to do back day, but good enough to do a chest day. So I've taken precautions. I've put talc on my hands so this doesn't slip and crush me. I've got my wrist wraps, and we're just gonna go ahead. I have 90 kilos. I was gonna do free weights today, but I said fuck it, just gonna take it safe for this day. And we're gonna do more machines. We're gonna do incline. We're gonna do flies because that doesn't really involve my lower back or stability for that matter, which is the most important thing here. Because if I slip and I just do one of those and my lower back goes, I'll be fucked for about 5 days. So I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to take it easy, and I'm going to be smart today. So we're going to start with the incline press. We have 90 kilos on as usual. We're going to do 4 sets, usual stuff. Fourth one is probably going to be a drop set. But yeah, let's begin the first set and see what the deload week did for us. Huh. That was like, what, 14? Jeez. That was 1 or 2 reps more than we usually do, than what we usually do. Oh, that was good stuff. Let's see how many reps I can actually master here, because 14 was a bit, it was quite a lot to be honest. Let's see if we can get close to that. Don't really expect to do 14 again. You never know. I'm definitely gonna try. So, let's get it. Oh. That was 12. Not bad. Not bad. Alright, so before I go on and do the third set, I forgot. I didn't actually tell you what we're doing this week, did I? I mean, I did hinted at it last week, but essentially what we're going to do this week is something that I've never done before, split-wise. So the reason that yesterday was back day, today is chest day, and tomorrow is going to be leg day. So I need my lower back tomorrow, what I'm trying to say for leg day. I'm not actually doing the 5-day bro split. I'm going to do 4 days in, 1 day rest, 4 days in, 1 day rest. So in the period of 10 days, I'm going to be training 8 times with 2 rest days. I saw this split from a bodybuilder. I can't remember his name, but he's Italian. He's an older generation bodybuilder, but he's fantastic at what he does, and he was huge, and he was very smart when he came to training. So I am going to be doing back, chest, legs, shoulders and arms, rest day, repeat. So in a 10-day span, I'm going to be training each muscle group twice, and I'm going to be hitting at it hard on a single day, so I can only focus on one. That's why today is chest day. Yesterday was supposed to be back day, but it was a sort of a back day, and tomorrow it's going to be leg day, and so on and so forth, and then we have shoulders and arms. But yeah, that is going to ensure that I'm training each muscle group twice in a span of 10 days versus in a span of 7 days. A lot of people are getting too hanged up about how often you should train, and they think that 7 days is kind of like the magic number where everything has to be compacted into those 7 days. That's not the case. Like, you can structure your training otherwise. With a 10-day split, for example, or a 20-day split. Well, I mean, 20 days might be a little bit too much. You need to train each muscle group twice in a span of 7 days to a week, to 10 days rather. That should be good enough. So 7 to 10 days should be good enough if you're going to do a split like the one that I'm doing. So 4 days in, 1 day out. Obviously, we are alternating muscle groups. So we're going to hit back, and then we're going to hit chest. So we allow our back time to heal. And then we're going to hit legs. So we allow our chest time to heal, not so much lower back because we're doing legs, and then we allow all these 3 muscle groups to heal because we're going to be doing shoulders and arms, which are smaller muscle groups, and they can take more damage. So it's an excellent split. It's actually a very, very smart split, and then it's just exercise selection that will make it perfect. But yeah, we're gonna do the third set here before I keep talking. That's pretty much it. That's how this week is gonna look like, and obviously I've never done this before. So it's interesting, and it's something that I'm actually looking forward to do, because in 5 or 6 years of training, as I said, I've never done this. So it's new to me too. It might be shit, and if it is shit, I'm gonna go back to the usual, lower upper or push legs or something like that. But we'll see. Right, third set. Fuck. Well, that was a hard set. So that was obviously to failure. Yeah, that last rep the one before the last, when I looked at the top, I was like, fuck, I don't think I have another in me. But sometimes you have to try. Sometimes you really have to try, because you never know. Just gonna take a minute, and then I'm gonna try to push this up, because I can't get out, not without looking like an idiot. Alright, so final set, as per usual, is gonna be a drop set. I don't know why I have adopted this 3 sets with walking weight, and then the 4th the drop set, but it definitely feels very, very good, because this is 90 kilos for incline is heavyweight, especially if you're going to do like 10 to 14 reps. It's quite a lot of weight. So drop sets are not easy sets because you're going down in weight. They're actually supposed to be just as hard, if not harder sets, because hopefully, because the load is lighter, you can do more reps but hopefully you can do partial reps as well. Some exercises, some machines allow for that. This might allow for that, but we're going to have to cheat a little bit. So we're going to have to use a little bit of momentum and bouncing, which I don't really want to do, especially towards the end of the set. But yeah, drop sets are a fantastic tool to further grow muscle, man, because if they take your muscle to failure, with taking the synergists and the supportive muscle groups out of the equation as much as possible, because they don't get to failure since they're not the primary muscle that does the movement, they get less load. But if the load is lighter, this means that your primary muscles, or at least to me when I train my primary muscle group, so in this instance my pecs, are going to get to failure before my triceps get to failure with this weight. So that's why I love drop sets. And bear in mind, I've already done 3 sets, so my pecs have already had load and resistance going through them. And obviously my triceps and my front delts have had some sets done. I would say it's about a set to a set and a half so far in these 3 sets, because this is kind of like fractional volume. This might be a bit too complicated, but I'll try to explain it in a sec. Let's do the last set, 4th set, drop set, 60 kilos, rep that one out as much as possible, and then go start the second exercise and explain what I mean when I say fractional sets and why they're super important. Oh, fuck. Oh, look at those bad boys. Yeah, that was hard. Oh, that was good. Cool. I started with the drop sets. Let's set everything up for the second exercise and let's talk about fractional sets. All right, so we're gonna do some cable flies here. So cables are back there. We're just gonna do some flies in a sec. But first of all, let's talk about fractional sets, because a lot of people don't actually know what they are and why they're so important. But once you realize what they are and how to utilize them, you will see the beauty in them too. So let's suppose that you train chest twice. Either you're just doing straight up chest or you're doing push day, and then you train triceps once throughout an arm day. So a lot of people at the end of that week will say, oh, I've only trained my triceps once. It's not good enough. It's only 8 sets per week. I need to up the volume if I want to grow. There is some logic to that. However, the numbers are wrong. So technically, there is no logic to that. And I'll explain why. We have something that's called fractional sets. So yeah, you train the arms specifically, therefore triceps specifically, once a week. But you've actually trained triceps 3 times a week because of those push days. Especially if you're doing pressing movements, you are going to train your chest, obviously, but then you're going to train triceps and you are going to train front delts. So that is the beauty of fractional sets. Out of the 4 sets that you do on bench press, approximately 50% of that volume, so 2 sets, is triceps and front delts. Which is great because now you've done, let's say, for example, you do 8 sets of bench press, either incline or flat, doesn't really matter, but let's say you do 8 sets of bench press. 4 of those sets, approximately, are tricep sets and front delt sets, on top of the pec sets, which are obviously 8, because that's the primary muscle that does the movement. Now that's great, because now you've done 4 sets for triceps on one day, 4 sets on the second day, and 8 sets on the third day. So that's 18 sets per week of triceps. Great! So you've hit target as far as I'm concerned. You've definitely done enough volume. It's just a lot of people don't think about it that way. And same goes for biceps when you do back. Same goes for rear delts when you do back. You train those muscles. Same goes for forearms when you do back. You train those muscles by definition through fractional sets, fractional volume. When you do push days, leg days not so much, push days and pull days. I mean, even leg days, if you are going to do squats, you train lower back as well. It's not optimal, that's for sure, and it's not full sets, that's for sure, but at the end of the workout, you might have done 2 or 3 sets, proper sets, of lower back, which is great. Again, it works that way. That's why compound movements build so much muscle, especially for beginners, because they train all these muscle groups at the same time. So although you've only done deadlifts, bench pressing, and squats, you've had this amazing physique all of a sudden, and all your muscles are popping. And you're like, how? I don't train biceps. Well, you do back, so you do train biceps. That's the beauty of fractional sets and fractional volume, and definitely utilize it to the best of your ability. With that being said, let's do the first set here. So we have 5 plates. I think that's going to be enough. We'll find out. All right, that's the first set done. So yeah, that's the beauty about this split as well. Even if you don't want to count the 4 days, 4 days in, 1 day rest, as a 10-day period split, and you want to say, well, it's 7 days, so therefore you've only done, what we've done, back and chest twice, once legs and once delts and arms. That's fine. However, if you take fractional sets into account, rather. If you think about it, when I do chest, I train triceps and some shoulders. So then, on the shoulder and arm day, which is 2 days in time, I've already done a few sets of delts and triceps, and I'm going to do a workout which is specifically focused on those, which is great because it adds up to the overall volume. So here we're going to do 8 sets of some sort of pressing movement and then probably a couple of flies. Fly movements are not really training any other muscles other than the backs, which is fine. But because we're going to do 8 sets of pressing, we are going to do 4 sets off the back of that. We're going to do 4 sets for triceps, 4 sets for frontals specifically, which is great. This is great news. You know, so next time when we have shoulders and arms and we're going to train our triceps and our delts, it means we've already done delts and arms in the week. Same goes for back. When you do back, you train biceps. So by the time and rear delts as well. So by the time you go to the shoulders and delts, to the delts and arms, then you've already trained biceps and rear delts. That's kind of like how it works. That's kind of like how it adds up, and it does add up. So if you are going to do 4 sets and then you're going to do 8 sets on the arm day, 4 sets of triceps and then 8 sets of triceps specifically on the arm day, you've done in total 12 sets per week, which is great. That's good volume. So yeah, just bear that in mind. And with that in mind, we're going to do our second set here, because this is a relatively an easy exercise, and I recover relatively quickly. So let's do it. Oh, right, last set. I'm not going to do a drop set here. We're just going to keep the same weight, and then we're going to move on the third exercise, which is going to be another pressing exercise, but with machines, because as I said, lower back. I want to be very mindful of my lower back just today. Tomorrow things going to be just fine. But yeah. Ooh. Oh, fuck. Oh. Not bad. Done here. Right, so this is going to be the second pressing exercise of the day. And then we're going to do one more fly exercise, probably with dumbbells. And I'm going to show you what this is in a sec, because I really like this. This is a new exercise. So here I have 25 kilos. For the life of me, I don't remember if we're usually moving 30 here, 30 kilos, so 25 and a fiver, or I have the 20s and a fiver, so 25. This is 25 kilos. I just don't remember. I'm guessing I'm usually putting the 25s and then a fiver, because otherwise, why would I putting the 20s and a fiver if I have a 25er? Do you know what I mean? Well, that's okay. We're gonna start with the 25s this week, and maybe next week we're just gonna progressively overload a bit aggressively if I'm going to add 5 kilos aside, so 10 kilos total, but that's all right. Because if we're usually using the 30s, then it is what it is. But that's fine. We're going to start with the 25s. 4 sets. I might do a drop set here, but we'll find out. Ooh. 12. Not bad. Oh, fuck. You know what? I'm just thinking out loud, so I might have to think about it a bit more in detail, a bit more in detail, but if we do 3 sets here and 3 sets on the second fly exercise, that might as well be good enough, because we have 14 sets for chest specifically, not counting the fractional stuff, but 14 sets for chest specifically in one day. And then we're gonna hit chest again in the same week, because obviously it's a 5-day split, but we still have 2 more days left in the week, right? So we're gonna do back and chest again in the same week. Technically speaking, we're gonna be doing 24 sets of chest that way. We can go up to 28 if we're gonna do, 4 sets here and 4 sets over there. But I think 3 sets here is gonna be all that we need. So I'm just going to do it that way, and obviously then assess the situation over the coming weeks. And if I can do more volume, so if I can recover enough in time, then fuck it, we're gonna do 28 versus 24 sets a week. Why not? Yeah, I think we're gonna do 3 today and 3 over there. It should be enough because I feel my chest right now, it's pumping. The other thing when you sort of try to assess how many sets you should do and how many reps you should do, you should take into account the overall volume. And to take into account the overall volume, intensity is actually key. So if you are going to train very lightly, and not very, but like lightly, right? If you're gonna be like 5 or 3 to 5, let's say, reps in reserve, and you're not gonna try to go to failure often, not every single set, but often, then you might benefit from doing more sets. But on the other hand, if you are going to train very close to failure, sometimes beyond, like I did here, or when I was doing pressing movements, or even on the flies, right? If you are going to train to failure or beyond or very close to failure, either or, then you could benefit by just reducing the amount of overall sets you're going to do, just because the volume is going to be too much and you're not going to be recovering in time. That's all, really. So yeah, let's do the third set here, finish off with this exercise, and then start the flies with the dumbbells. I'm actually looking forward to this because it's, as I said, it's a new exercise. I haven't actually done it before in my life, besides the last week, I believe. But that was about it, yeah. But it feels so good, and it's eccentric only, and I like that so much. So yeah, let's do it. Oh, done here. So for this one, I'm actually going to grab the 9s, and I don't know if this is a lot of weight or just about, but we're going to find out. Again, if it's not a lot, then we can always progressively overload next week. But this exercise is eccentric only, so what you do is kind of like flies with dumbbells. And again, I saw this exercise from that bodybuilder who's doing that split, or who used to do that split. But essentially, you just take 2 dumbbells, and then keeping your shoulders relatively tucked, you could go down. Make sure that I do this right. And when you're here, instead of doing this, which is putting quite a lot of strain on your nervous system, you just go down nice and slowly, you get a deep stretch, and then you sort of curl the dumbbells, and you press, and then you repeat. So this is eccentric only. There we go. But this is very, very good. Like, I can feel my pecs being stretched, and it doesn't feel bad on my shoulders at all, or my elbows, but it feels very, very good on my pecs. If this is the kind of exercise that causes you trouble or discomfort, don't do it. Just do something else. But at the moment, I don't feel anything negative. I get no negative feedback, just positive, because those pecs are being stretched to the max. Ooh. Oh. 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 That's that. So that's very good. That's a very good exercise. I really enjoy that one, and it's not often that I get to try something new, because obviously when you've been training for six years and you've been trying quite a lot of stuff, there is variation in your programs, then there isn't really that many exercises that will excite you, but this is exciting. Or at least it will be for a couple of weeks, maybe. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, right? But it feels good, and it does when I wanted to do so. I'm happy to keep doing that. And we're gonna do 2 more here, and then that's it for the day. Alright, so second set. One of the things you want to make sure is you want to start from a position around, so you don't really want to look your outside is what I'm trying to say, because if you do, then you lose the shoulder setup, which is specifically there to avoid injury on your shoulders, right? So this is kind of like, there we go. So when I go up, I don't really care to lock it up because obviously that's not the exercise. And it will make me lose that position that I have right now, which obviously allows me to really stretch those pecs and do that in a safe manner because my shoulders are kind of like back, or rather inwards and downwards, so they allow for that extra deep stretch in a safely manner where you don't really put any unnecessary strain on the shoulder joints. That's sort of the reasoning. Oh. Oh. Ooh. Oh. Oh, that's good enough. Ooh. All right, one last one. One for the road. One for the road because my back's starting to irritate me just a little bit. So I don't want to really push it. Oh. 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 Oh no. That's good. Oops. Yeah, I wasn't going to do another rep there, but that's all right. That was good enough. So we're finished off for the test. Chest day is done, and it felt very, very good. I'm not going to lie to you. So tomorrow we have legs. Hopefully my back is up to par. Otherwise, the leg day is still going to happen, but we're going to use more machines. And I mean, there isn't a great selection of machines. There's a great selection of machines here, but there aren't that many machines to choose from. So you want to be doing free weights in this gym specifically, which I don't mind because that's my style of training anyways. So if we are going to do machines only, I mean, we have the leg extensions and we have seated hamstring curls, leg press. I mean, the leg press does use lower back, so we're just going to have to be a little bit careful with that. But in any case, pretty good day. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm still going to come in regardless of how my back feels. It's just that will determine how tomorrow's workout is going to look like. But we'll get to that. That's a problem for future me anyway. Today is done. It was a very good chest day. I have a pump on my chest like nothing else. I do miss working out like this sometimes because the pump you get locally is just amazing. Whereas if you train for back and chest, if you do like an upper body day, the fatigue is everywhere. Which ends up being more of kind of like a systemic fatigue issue rather than local fatigue. But you know, it is what it is. It's still a very good way to train. I'm not, trying to diminish how useful an upper, lower, or pull-push legs split is. They're very, very useful. They're very, very good. But I just sometimes just miss that local pump that you get from training just one muscle group a week, a day rather. But yeah, That's all right. It is what it is. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to go home, eat, and then rest. And hopefully tomorrow we're going to be ready to rock and roll for legs. Jesus Christ, I can't speak. Until then, peace, and I am out.